One and all. Today we are going to start the gas cables. Okay, in the previous class we already discussed about the oil duct cables. Okay, this is the continuation for that the previous class. Okay, this is the gas pressure cable and this is the constructional diagram for the gas pressure cable. Okay, this is the tube, gas tube. This tube is totally consisting of a gas. Okay, the figure shows the section of external pressure cable. Okay, this is the pressure cable is designed by Hochstatter, Vogel and the Bowden. Okay, these are the scientists' names. Vogel and the Bowden and the Hochstatter are the scientists for designing these gas pressure cables. Okay, the construction of the cable is in the form of a triangular shape. Okay, this is the constructional gas tube is in the shape of a triangular shape. In this gas tube, we are consisting of a 3 cores. Okay, this is the core 1, this is the core 2, and these are the core 3. Okay, each and every core having the insulation. Okay, each and every core having the insulation. Okay, and the thickness of the lead sheet is 75% that of a solid cable. Okay, the thickness of this lead sheet is the solid cables. Okay, the triangular section reduces the weight and gives the low thermal resistance. Why? Because we are using the triangular shape gas tube means, okay, by using this triangular shape gas tube, okay, we are reducing the weight of that cable. Okay, and gives the low thermal resistance. Okay, by using this cable, the thermal resistance is also reduces. But the main reason for the triangular shape is the lead sheet acts as a pressure member. Okay, the lead sheet acts as a pressure member. Okay, the sheet is protected by the thin metal tape. Okay, this sheet is protected by the thin metal shape. Okay, the cable is laid in a gas tight steel pipe. Okay, this is the totally consisting of a gas pipe steel pipe. Okay, the pipe is filled with the dry nitrogen gas. Okay, this pipe is filled with the dry nitrogen gas at 12 to 15 atmosphere. Okay, the gas pressure produces the radial compression and closes the voids. Okay, that may have a formed between the layers by the paper insulation. Okay, this is the core 1, core 2, core 3. Each and every core having the paper and the lead sheet as the insulation. Okay, what are the main advantages when we are using the gas pressure cable or it carries a more load current and it will be used for the high voltage ranges. Okay, understand ma? And it will be used for the high voltage ranges. Okay, the maintenance cost is small and the nitrogen gas help in quenching any flame or the sparks obtained in this cable. Okay, by using this gas pressure cables, okay, we are reducing the maintenance cost also, and by using the nitrogen gas that will be helpful to quenching that spark. And what are the disadvantages are there means, okay, the overall cost for that system is more when compared to the all other cables. Okay, that is the oil filled cables or the low voltage, low pressure cables. When compared to all the cables, okay, this type of cable is the cost is very high. Okay, this type of cable cost is very high. Okay, it is known as the gas pressure cable. Okay, this is the gas pressure cable. Okay, this is consisting of a triangular section. Okay, for the triangular pipe is closed with the conductors. Okay, this is the conductor 1, conductor 2, conductor 3. This 3 core cable is closed by the triangular shaped gas tube. Okay, therefore, this triangular shaped gas tube consisting of a gas, and at that layer, okay, we are having the nitrogen gas. Okay, the cable is laid in the gas tight steel pipe. Okay, the pipe is filled with the dry nitrogen gas. Okay, this pipe is filled with the dry nitrogen gas. Okay, understand, ma? These are the different types of cables, okay, that will be used in the undergrounds. Okay, next, the laying of a underground cables. Okay, the laying of the underground cables is the route should be served once selected. Okay, the position of the water mains or the drains, etc., should be ascertained. Okay, therefore, the cables which are be buried undergrounds. Okay, therefore, why we are using the different types of underground cables means depending upon the voltage levels, we are selecting the different types of underground cables. Okay, the moisture of the soil should not enter the core of a cables. Okay, the moisture of the soil does not enter to the core of a cable. Okay, it must possess high insulation resistance. Okay, it should not be costly. Okay, it should be sufficiently flexible. Okay, it should not be bulky, and it should be able to withstand the heat produced due to the flow of current. Okay, these are the various points that will be considered for laying of a underground cables. Next, coming to the insulation resistance of a single core cable. Okay, how we will calculate the insulation resistance? Okay, how we will calculate the insulation resistance of a cable? Okay, this is the diagram, cross-sectional view of that single core cable, and this is the conductor. Okay, there we are having the two different resistance, that is R2 and this is the R1. And we are considering the length, that is the dx. Okay, therefore the dx is the thickness of the layer, and R1 is the radius of the conductor, and R2 is the radius of the sheath. R2 is the radius of the sheath. Okay, this is the conductor, and these are all the insulation for this conductor. Okay, this is the conductor, and these are all the insulation for that conductor. Okay, therefore R2 is the radius of the sheath, and R1 is the radius of the conductor, and dx is the thickness of the layer. Okay, understand, ma? And dx is the thickness of the layer. Next, what is the formula for finding the insulation resistance of the cable is, okay, R is equal to rho by 2 pi L. Okay, rho equal to 2 pi L by R. Okay, we already well known about the formula for resistance. Okay, therefore R is equal to rho is the specific resistance. Rho equal to 2 pi L by R. 2 pi L by R. Okay, by using this formula, we write down the formula for resistance. Okay, by using this formula, we write down the formula for resistance. Okay, therefore, resistance R is equal to rho by 2 pi L. Okay, and then apply the log. Okay, therefore it can be written as log E R2 by R1, where R2 is the radius of the sheath and R1 is the radius of the conductor. Okay, therefore the resistance R is equal to the rho. Rho means the specific resistance, and L is the length of the conductor, and R2 is the radius of the sheath, insulation sheath, and R1 is the radius of the conductor. Okay, and R1 is the radius of the conductor. Therefore, okay, the resistance R is equal to rho by 2 pi L log E R2 by R1. Okay, this shows the insulation resistance of a cable and inversely proportional to the length. Okay, therefore the insulation resistance of a cable is inversely proportional to the length. Okay, therefore, the insulation resistance of a cable is inversely proportional to the length. Okay, in other words, if the cable length is increases, okay, if the length of the cable is increases, then the resistance is decreases. Okay, from this equation, okay, we are observing the insulation length is increases, the resistance is decreases. Why? Because the resistance is inversely proportional to the length. Okay, understand ma? The insulation resistance is inversely proportional to the length. Okay. Next, coming to the capacitance of a single core cable. How we will calculate the capacitance for that single core cable? Okay, this is the conductor. Okay, this is the conductor and small d by 2. Okay, small d is the diameter of the conductor and capital D is the intersheath diameter. Okay, capital D is the intersheath diameter and dx is the small length we are considering as the dx. Okay, this is the outer layer is the sheath. Okay, small dx is the point P, and this is the point x. Okay, this is the conductor and this is the insulation for this conductor and this is the insulation for this conductor. First, we calculate the capacitance of a single core cable. Okay, calculate the capacitance of a single core cable. First, conductor diameter is small d. Okay, consider, okay, the diameter of the conductor is small d. Next, the inner sheath diameter, that means insulation diameter, is capital D. Okay, the charge per meter axial length of the cable is Q coulomb, and we are assuming the charge per meter of the insulation length of the cable is Q coulombs. Next, the relative permittivity of the insulation is epsilon R. Okay, the relative permeability of the insulation is epsilon R. Next, the permittivity is epsilon naught. The permittivity is epsilon naught. Next, we calculate the what is the capacitance for that single core cable. Okay, we calculate the capacitance for the single core cable. Small d is the diameter of the conductor and capital D is the inner sheath of the diameter and Q is the charge in the coulombs. Okay, therefore, we calculate the capacitance value, that is C. Okay, what is the formula for capacitance? Therefore, C is equal to Q by V. Therefore, C is equal to Q by V, where Q is the charge in coulombs and V is the voltage. Okay, therefore, okay, what is the formula for voltage means? Okay, remember those formula, that is voltage formula is Q by 2 pi epsilon naught log E d by d, where d is the diameter of the sheath and small d is the diameter of the conductor. Q is the charge in coulomb and epsilon naught, epsilon R are the absolute and relative permeabilities. Okay, therefore C is equal to Q by V. That is equal to Q by V is Q by 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon R log E d by d. Okay, then this can be written as 2 pi epsilon naught epsilon R, Q gets cancelled, Q gets cancelled, log E d by d, farads per meters, where epsilon naught value is constant value. Absolute permeability for any material is 8.854 into 10 power minus 12. 8.854 into 10 power minus 12. Okay, this is the epsilon naught value, 8.854 into 10 power minus 12. Okay, this is the fixed value for epsilon naught, absolute permittivity. Okay, 2 pi into 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 into epsilon r by log e, that will be converted into log base 10 by multiplying the 2.3.3. Okay, then 2 pi by 2 pi into 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 by 2.303 is equal to 41.4 into 10 power minus 9. Okay, 41.4 into 10 power 9. Okay, then it can be written as epsilon r by 41.4 log base 10 d by d into 10 power minus 9 farad per meters. 10 power minus 9 farad per meters. Okay, this is the formula for calculating the capacitance of a single core cable. Okay, epsilon r by 41.4 into log base 10 d by d into 10 power minus 9. 10 power minus 9. Okay, this is the formula for calculating the capacitance of a cable. And what is the resistance formula? That is R is equal to rho by 2 pi L log E R2 by R1. Okay, this is the formula for calculation of resistance of a single core cable, and this is the formula for calculation of a capacitance of a single core cable. Okay, therefore capacitance C is equal to epsilon R by 41.4 log base 10 D by D into 10 power minus 9. Next, what are the faults are obtained in the case of a cables? Okay, that is types of a faults in the cables. Okay, types of cable faults. The cables are generally laid in the ground or in the ducts. Okay, underground cables means, okay, the cables are placed in the underground. Okay, for that reason, there are a little chances of faults in the underground cables. Okay, therefore, some faults are obtained in the underground cables. Okay, if a fault does occur, okay, it is difficult to locate and repair the faults. Okay, because the conductors are not viable. Okay, the following are the faults that will be obtained in the case of a underground cables are, first one is the open circuit fault. Okay, first one is the open circuit fault. Next one is the short circuit fault. Next one is the earth faults. Okay, these are the rarely obtained faults in the case of a underground cables. Okay, open circuit fault, short circuit faults. Next one is the earth faults. Okay, first coming to the open circuit faults. Okay, next coming to the open circuit faults. Okay, how the open circuit faults are obtained in the underground cables. Okay, when there is a break in a conductor of a cable, okay, if any breakdowns are obtained in the conductor in the cable, okay, then the open circuit faults are obtained. Okay, if any breaks are obtained in the conductor of a cable, then the open circuit faults are obtained. Okay, the open circuit faults can be checked by Megger. Okay, these open circuit faults are measured by using the Megger. Okay, it is a device. It is used to check the where the faults will be obtained in the underground cables. Okay, The three conductors of a three-core cable at far end are shorted and the earthed. Okay, if the three conductors are shorted and the earthed, if the three conductors are shorted and the earthed, then these types of faults are obtained. Okay, next, the resistance between each conductor and earth is measured by the Megger. Okay, the resistance between the each conductor and the earth, okay, is measured by the Megger, and it will be indicated zero resistance in the circuit of the conductor. Okay, however, if the conductor is broken, okay, the Megger will indicate the infinite resistance in the circuit. Okay, if the conductor is breakdown, okay, or broken, okay, in that case we are measuring the resistance in between the conductors to the earth by using that Megger. Then the Megger measures the infinity resistance. Okay, then the Megger measures the infinity resistance. Okay, if any breakdowns are obtained in the conductor, then the open circuit faults are obtained. Okay, these open circuit faults are measured by using the Megger. Okay, therefore, the resistance between the conductor and the earth is also measured by the Megger. If the conductor is breakdown or the broken, okay, in this case, we are measuring the resistance, okay, that's value is infinity, okay, by using the Megger, okay, by using the Megger. Okay, understand, ma? This is the open circuit faults. Okay, these faults will be obtained when the cable or the conductor is broken or the breakdowns. Next, coming to the second fault, that is the short circuit faults. Okay, next coming to the second fault, that is the short circuit faults. Okay, how the short circuit faults are obtained in the underground cables means when the two conductors of multi-core cable come in the electrical contact. When the two conductors of the cables are come in the electrical contact, that means the insulation between that conductors is failure. Okay, when it will be happen, the insulation between the conductors is failure. Okay, in this situation, the short circuit faults are obtained. Okay, in this situation, the short circuit faults are obtained. If the insulation between the two conductors is failure, then the two conductors is come in contact with electrically. Okay, in that case, the short circuit faults are obtained. Okay, therefore, again we can seek the help of a Megger to check this fault. Okay, how we will identify that fault means by using the Megger. Okay, by using the Megger, okay, we identify the short circuit faults, okay, that will be obtained in the conductor. Okay, for this purpose, the two terminals of the Megger are connected to any two conductors. Okay, how we will be measure means, okay, if the two terminals of the Megger is connected to any two conductors. Okay, if the Megger gives the zero reading, okay, in that case, the Megger gives the zero reading, okay, it indicates the short circuit faults. Okay, understand, ma? If the Megger gives the zero reading, then we identify the short circuit faults are obtained in the line. Okay, understand? Okay, it indicates the short circuit faults between these conductors. Okay, that same step is repeated for the other conductors, taking a 2 times. Okay, if the Megger does not measure the zero value, okay, therefore there is no obtain of a short circuit faults. Okay, next last fault is the earth faults. Okay, next last fault is the earth fault. When the conductor of a cable come in contact with the earth. Okay, if the conductor of a cable is contact with the earth, okay, it is called as the earth faults or the ground faults. Okay, understand me? It is called as the earth fault or the ground faults. Okay, when the conductor of a cable come in contact with the earth, okay, then this type of faults are called as the earth faults or the ground faults. Okay, To identify this type of earth faults, one terminal of the megger is connected to the conductor and other terminal is connected to the earth. Okay, in the previous case, the two terminals of the megger is connected to the two conductors. Okay, in this case, one terminal is connected to the conductor and other terminal is connected to the earth. Okay, if the megger indicates the zero reading, okay, if the megger indicates the zero reading, it means the conductor is earthed. Okay, if the megger reads the zero reading, then the conductor, it means the conductor is earthed. The conductor is earthed. Okay, the same procedure is repeat for all other conductors of a cable. Okay, in this case, one terminal is connected to the conductor and other is connected to the earth. Okay, if the megger measures the zero value, then we are identifying the earth faults are obtained. Okay, and then same procedure is obtained for all the conductors. Okay, these are the various types of faults that will be obtained in the cables: open circuit faults, short circuit faults, and the earth faults. Okay, these three types of faults are identified by using the megger. If the megger gives the zero reading, then we obtain the faults. Okay, how that will be measured means, okay, if the short circuit faults are obtained, in this case the megger, the two terminals of the megger is connected to the two conductors, then it gives the zero reading, then we obtain the short circuit faults. Okay, similarly, how we will measure the earth faults means one conductor is connected to the megger terminal and earth is connected to the other terminal of the megger, then the megger indicates the zero value, zero reading. Okay, in that case, the earth faults are obtained. Okay, these are the various types of faults that will be obtained in the underground cables. Okay, understand my next. What is the comparison for underground and the overhead systems? Okay, this is the difference, the comparison between the overhead system and the underground systems. First one is the public safety. In the overhead system, it is a less safety for the public. In the underground system, it is more safety for the public. Next one is the initial cost. Okay, initial cost. Okay, it is a less expensive. Okay, the cost for overhead system is less. Okay, the cost for underground system is more. Next, faults. The fault occurs are frequently for the overhead systems. Next, very rare chance of faults for the underground systems. Okay, very rare chances for the underground systems. Next, flexibility. It is a more flexible as new conductor can be lowered. Okay, and the fault points cannot be same. And repair. Okay, it can be easily repaired. It can be easily repaired for both the cases. Okay, we easily repair. Next, working voltages. It can be worked up to 400 kilovolts. Okay, it can be worked up to 400 kilovolts and it can be worked up to 66 kilovolts. Next, lightning. More chances being subjected to the lightning and very little chances for subjecting to the lightning strokes. And supply interruption, more chances of supply interruption and very little chance for the supply interruptions. And frequency of accidents. Okay, in the overhead systems, okay, the faults and the location of the faults are easily obtained. Similarly, in the overhead systems, more chance to the interruptions and the frequent accidents are obtained in the overhead systems, and therefore the little chances are obtained due to the accidents. And insulation cost is very less. For the underground system, okay, we require the more insulation cost. And these are the various differences between the underground and the overhead systems. And what are the advantages and disadvantages there for the underground systems? Okay, first one is the what are the main advantages are there means the better general appearance. Why? Because we are having the better general appearance means we are using the good quality of insulation. Why? Because we are using the good quality of insulation. It will be placed in the undergrounds. Okay, that's why we require the more insulation for the cables. Therefore, the better general appearance is obtained for the cables. Less liable to damage through the storms or the lightnings. Why? Because okay, it will be placed in the undergrounds. Therefore, there is no damage for that lightning strokes. Next, low maintenance cost. Why? Because we are requiring low maintenance cost. Okay, it will be placed in the underground. Okay, there is no disturbance for the any accidents and does not obtain the frequently faults. Okay, that's why we require less maintenance, less chance to the faults, and faults are also very less chance. Next, small voltage drops that will be obtained in the case of the underground cables. Okay, next, what are the main disadvantages are there in the case of a underground cables? Okay, we are having the some disadvantages are there for the usage of underground cables. Okay, that is the major drawback is greater insulation cost. Okay, we require the more insulation for that cables. Why? Because we are requiring more insulation means it will be placed in the in depth of the earth. Okay, therefore, due to the soils and the moisture in the soil, and we are erecting that cable. Okay, that's why we are using the high quality of insulation for that cables. Okay, that's why we are using the high quality of insulation for that cables. Okay, these are the major disadvantages of these underground cables. Okay, the introduced insulation problems at high voltages compared with equivalent overhead systems. Okay, these are the some of the advantages and the major disadvantage in the case of a underground cables, and these are the comparison for that underground and the overhead systems, and also the various types of faults. Okay, these are the various types of faults. Okay, that will be obtained in the cables, underground cables. That is the open circuit faults, short circuit faults, and earth faults. Okay, very rare faults are obtained in the case of a underground cables, but these faults are very severe. Okay, but these faults are very severe. Okay, these faults are identified by using the Megger. Okay, open circuit fault, short circuit fault, and earth faults are identified by using the Megger. And this is the capacitance of a single core cable. Okay, we are using the single core cable. Then by using this capacitance formula, okay, we calculate the capacitance for that cable. Next, this is the insulation resistance for that single core cables. Okay, up to this we are discussing about the various types of what is meant by underground cables and why we are using the underground cables, and what are the different types of insulating materials are used for that underground cables, and what are the properties for that insulating materials, and what are the various types of insulating materials we are using for the underground cables, and what are the types of the underground cables, and which type of faults that will be obtained in the underground cables, and what are the comparisons and advantages and disadvantages for that underground cables. Okay, that all will be discussed. Okay, in the next coming classes, next coming class, we are discussing about the insulation resistance and capacitance, how the capacitance will be identified for the 3-core cables. Okay, that all will be discussed in the next class. Okay, understand, ma? These are the basic introduction about the underground cables. Okay, and we are having the some problems that will be related to the calculation of resistance for that single core cable and calculation of capacitance for that single core cable, and how we will calculate the resistance for that 3-core cables, and how we will calculate the resistance for that 3-core cables. Okay, that all will be discussed in the next coming classes, and we do the problems that will be related to the resistance and the capacitance. Okay, we continue in the next class. Okay, thank you.